Today I'm sharing something I hid for years. After I broke my back, I became addicted to Tylenol once. I've never spoken publicly about it, but I believe someone needs to hear this. Addiction doesn't always look like what we think it does. If you've ever struggled silently with something, this one is for you. It's something I've never really talked about publicly, and it's not easy to say. After I fractured my L2 vertebrae, I became addicted to Tylenol ones. Yes, Tylenol ones with codeine. Most people think that's not a big deal, but addiction doesn't care what the bottle says. It started innocently. I was in pain, real pain, and I told myself I was being careful. I told myself, at least it's not Percocets. I thought I was choosing the safer option. But what I didn't realize was that I was slowly becoming dependent. I would buy the big bottles. There was 200 of them in those bottles. And I'm ashamed to say, I was taking 8 or 9 at a time, probably about 4 times a day. A bottle would last me a week. I panicked. If I was running low, if I looked at the bottle and realized it was getting empty, my heart would race. I had to get more. I started going to different drugstores every week, so no one would notice how often I was buying them at one location. That's when you know when you're hiding it, when you're planning around it, when you're sneaking. There were times I didn't even have a vehicle, and I would walk to the drugstore. Rain, snow, wind, it didn't matter. I had to have them just to function. And the worst part? I was always in panic mode. What if I went somewhere and couldn't get them? What if there was a storm? What if there was an emergency? What if? I always felt like I needed a supply. That's not freedom, that's bondage. And one day in 2016, I had a moment. I thought, what if something catastrophic happened and I couldn't get these? Is this how I want to live? And something inside me said, enough. I didn't research it. I didn't talk to anyone. I just decided I am done. I quit cold turkey. Now, I didn't even realize how dangerous that could be. But I was determined. The withdrawals were awful. Loose bowels, body aches, flu-like sickness. I felt so ill, I could barely function. It lasted about 3 days. And during those days, I kept talking to myself. Stick to it, don't give in. You've come this far. This will pass. You are not going back. I knew I was in withdrawals, and I knew if I just held on, freedom was on the other side. And then it lifted. These cravings eased. My body started stabilizing, and something bigger lifted too. The shame, the hiding, the sneaking. the constant fear of running out. That weight was gone. That was 2016, and I have not touched one since. In fact, I barely even take regular Tylenol now. What this has taught me is something powerful. You will not quit an addiction until you are truly ready. You can talk about quitting. You can feel guilty. You can hide and sneak and pretend. But until something shifts inside you, you won't stop. But when you are ready, you will walk through 3 days of hell to get to freedom. If you are struggling with anything, pain medication, food, alcohol, approval, fear, I want you to hear this. You are not weak. You are not broken. But you do have to decide. And when you decide, you are stronger than you think. Addiction hides in the dark. But freedom begins the moment you step into the light. I'm still standing, and so are you. If you've ever struggled with any kind of dependency, medication, food, alcohol, approval, fear, you are not weak. You have a choice to either stop or to continue with the addiction. Tell me, when did you realize you were ready to change? Something in your life? I care, so comment below. I read every comment. I am at this point going to mention a disclaimer that this video shares my personal experience in what I decided to do. Quitting certain medications suddenly can be dangerous. Please consult a medical professional before making changes to any prescribed or over-the-counter medication. If this topic has touched you in any way, please like, share, and subscribe so we can reach others. And you all have a great day.